Okay, well, good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Franson. I'm the principal at University High School, and I'd like to introduce our panel tonight, and then we'll go through some information for you, short information, and then open it up for questions and answers. Your questions will be via chat, so we'll get to as many questions as we are able. And the questions that we don't get to tonight, we will have a record of, and we will answer those. So would like to, again, I'm Kevin Franson, principal at the University High School, Spokane Valley. We have our assistant principal, Hannah Miller, our assistant principal athletic director, Brandon DeArmond, our assistant principal, Quinn Lesage, and assistant principal, Rob Bartlett. Our moderator tonight is Shireen, and taking the Q&As and putting them together is Tanya. So we have a good group here ready to serve you and answer your questions. We also we are passing on a message of excitement and hope. We feel this year like it's our first year, because this is a different year and a different start. We are longing to see you face to face when it's safe and when we are able, and that'll be our ultimate goal. But in the meantime, we're going to deliver excellent instruction via a Blackboard platform. And I believe we sent out a schedule, so we'll also post a schedule tonight for you and talk about that. But we're going to show some enthusiasm for our students this year, and also some grit. And I'd like to speak very briefly on grit and hope. And grit depends on a different kind of hope. It rests on the expectation that our own efforts can improve our future. And I have a feeling tomorrow will be better is much different than I resolve to make tomorrow better. And I'll tell you what, this group and this school and this district, we resolve to make tomorrow better. We also want to create positive learning environments for our students. We want to mold great competitors. The mindset that we are always going to succeed and that we've always got something to prove positive. We want to teach our students that. We want to teach resilience. We don't want to let things set us back, because we have some challenges ahead of us, let's face it. We won't be deterred by those challenges though. And we won't be deterred by the circumstance. We can't control that. We'll do the best we can possibly offer under the circumstance. And so it's that attitude that we wish to instill in our students, and that's what we call grit. I'd like to open it up this time to our assistant principal, Hannah Miller, to talk about the schedule. So introduce Hannah Miller.
Good evening, Titans. I really wanted to give you guys some information tonight about what the schedule is going to look like, because it's a different year. You don't walk in the building and bells ring and tell you where to go. So we've blackboarded out our schedule for the first 9 weeks. And if you didn't receive that, here it is. I wanted to walk you through kind of what it's going to look like, and then explain more about what advisory is going to look like this year. So we do have 90-minute periods where students will be able to log on to their Blackboard account. They'll get information on that tomorrow. And they'll be able to join a Zoom meeting with their teachers during first period. And then they'll progress through their day. They'll go from first period to advisory, from advisory to second period. We decided to break up second period because putting lunch before it was just way too early, and afterwards was just way too late. And it's kind of nice to have a break in the middle of your 90-minute class. So they'll go back to second period after lunch, finish with third period, and then a little bit of time to access all their teachers before doing their normal evening homework that you normally would do. Advisory time this year is going to look a little bit different. We've broken out the week so that you can kind of have some different options on using that time as wisely as you can. So Mondays will be a normal advisory period, just like we always have, where you can work on your high school and beyond plan, and you can get information from our college and career readiness counselor. So you'll join your normal advisory class during that time. On Tuesday, we really listened to our students and our parents and our teachers, and they said, gosh, 9 weeks off of a class is a long time. So we built in some time on Tuesdays where students can touch base with those teachers that they aren't seeing during those 9 weeks and maybe get some pre-work for like an AP class that they aren't in yet, or just any year-long class that they don't want to lose their knowledge. On Wednesdays, students any student that got an incomplete in a class will be able to use Wednesdays to touch base with their teacher, and those teachers then can touch base with students that had incompletes in the spring. For everybody else, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you can just use that as your independent work time. So you have just a little extra time built in to continue working on your studies. On Thursday, you can touch base with any of your teachers, log on to a Zoom call and touch base with your teachers, get some virtual assistance, whether it's with the technology or the content in the class, to be able to stay caught up in those classes. Friday, we wanted to build in some fun time for our school because, you know, you're sitting at home alone. We want you to feel part of the Titan community. And so Fridays will be broken out by our ASB. They're gonna have this first Friday, they're gonna have a fun assembly that they're gonna do, a virtual assembly. And in your advisory, you'll find out more about that. They're gonna do maybe some school-wide cahoots for fun. And you'll have class meetings and ASB meetings during that time.
Thank you, Hannah. I'd like to touch on the safety protocol that we'll be doing. We will have students in the building, some special needs students in the building, and we will follow the safety protocols, and Mr. Bartlett will touch a little on those.
Good evening, Titan families. I'm Rob Bartlett. I'm one of the assistant principals. I'm going to touch on health and safety protocols. All health and safety protocols will be dependent, obviously, upon students who are returning to U-High. The district will continually analyze and update our protocols bi-weekly as guidelines evolve from our public health agencies. All students will be expected to provide their own mask each day and wear that inside the building, as well as teachers. There will be situations based on either behavior or medical needs, and that'll be decided on a case-by-case basis. But those will be few and far between, obviously. Staff and students with COVID-19 symptoms may not enter the building for any reason. We are going to have health screenings for staff and students each day. They will take place prior to entry of the building. Screening will be conducted by staff who have been officially trained by the district. Staff and students will provide daily documentation based on a checklist that we will provide that details COVID-19 symptoms. Screening will be conducted by contactless thermostats. If students or staff have a temperature of 100.4 or higher, they will not be allowed to enter the building. Physical distancing protocols will be applied during screening and once staff and students enter the building, whether in the hallways, in classrooms, in the commons at lunch. That will be a 6-foot radius. Isolation areas have been designated for possible cases, and the specific plan for those isolations will be followed. The physical distancing, like I mentioned, of staff and students will limit student capacity and will implement various protocols to maintain a minimum separation. Like I mentioned before, 6 feet at all times, whether in classrooms, in the hallways, at commons, at lunch, loading and unloading on the school bus. And with our sanitation, cleaning, and disinfection, the district will follow all COVID sanitation policies, cleaning and disinfection protocols set forth by our public agencies. All classrooms will be provided with sanitation, either disinfecting wipes, hand sanitizers in each room that have been approved by the EPA. And just to kind of reiterate, as I mentioned prior, the district will continually analyze and update our health and safety protocols bi-weekly from our public health agencies to ensure the safest learning environment and best teaching practices that our kiddos can receive.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that.
I have the orange too. If you guys want me to, I can.
So how do I really plug in? Because this one's
Well,
pretty loaded.
maybe that
It's
is
not
helpful.
plugged in.
So,
So in the end, just wanted to thank you all for being involved with your students' educational path. We really appreciate it. And the more that we can work together as an ad team and teachers and counselors and parents with your students, the better success they're going to have. So thank you and have a great evening.
Sorry, we had a few voices from outer space there come in, or inner space. I don't know which one. So excuse that, please. Thank you, Rob. And we are, like I said, we are absolutely anxious to see all of our students when we are able. I'd like to talk now, have Mr. Quinn Lesage talk about some instruction and get some details on the instruction piece.
Yeah, again, welcome Titan family. My name is Quinn Lesage. I'm an assistant principal, and I'd like to talk about three really crucial parts to our instruction this year. We're calling them instructional mechanics. First being PowerSchool. This should be very familiar to all of our families. This has no change for our families. This is where our teachers will take attendance. It's where our grades will be recorded. It's where we keep all of the contact information for our families. And it's where you can access a lot of information regarding your child. And so there's not a whole lot of change with PowerSchool. I just know that it's important that you guys know that we are continuing to use that. The second piece there is Blackboard. And just to give some background on Blackboard, that will be our instructional platform that our teachers use on a daily basis for every single class period. This is like a landing space for students, staff, and parents to begin each class. And so the idea behind Blackboard is if you are a family and have multi-level students, whether it be a kindergartner, fifth grader, middle schooler, or high school, the same exact platform will be used so that you'll be able to navigate that effortlessly throughout the educational experience. And so one of the things that I know as a parent I would like to know is what do we do on day one, and a lot of information will come out tomorrow in regards to Blackboard, but Blackboard is going to be the first step that every child or parent that is helping will take to begin their instructional journey that is virtual. So Blackboard is our instructional platform that we will use. It's home base. And from there, we will span out to other places. So, and then finally Zoom, which is the platform we're using. As a district, we are using Zoom as a video conferencing program. Live instruction will be delivered through Zoom. And then also if there's meetings such as IEP meetings or things of that nature, Zoom will be what we use on a daily basis for that. Some really cool features about Zoom. We have the ability to break students into small groups and provide variation of instruction. And so it gives our teachers a lot of great options to deliver a really effective instructional model to kids. One of the things that we are hoping for is that obviously in these live platforms, although it is not required for students to turn their cameras on, we just hope that the environment is conducive to learning and distraction free and school appropriate. And so these are the three main platforms that we'll be using: PowerSchool, Blackboard, and Zoom to deliver our instruction. So we're excited for a great year. We know it's new, and just know that these three things are going to help be catalysts to great learning.
Thank you, Quinn. And before we get into the question and answer, we want to talk a little bit about the current state of athletics and activities with Mr. Brandon DeArmond.
Good evening, Titan family. My name is Brandon DeArmond, and again, I am in charge of activities and athletics. I do want to start off by saying this is not how I pictured the start of my first year as an activities coordinator. With that, we have a slide in front of you that outlines a potential timeline of athletics, assuming we're in the correct phase. So if you look at this slide, currently where we are is we're encouraging coaches to interact with their athletes and advisors to interact with their students. It can't be sport specific. There isn't any mandatory attendance. However, that connection we know is extremely important, and we want coaches and advisors to reach out to your sons and daughters. Assuming we're in the correct phase, we do have through the WIAA what is called Summer 2.0. What this is it would be September 28th through November 30th. Again, assuming that we're in the correct phase, where coaches and athletes would be able to practice, obviously with the appropriate social distancing and so forth. There wouldn't be games or contests, but it would be a time for students, athletes, and coaches and advisors to work closely together. Next, you'll see a potential timeline. Again, I want to stress potential timeline for seasons. If you look at that specifically, December 28th through February 7th, there would be girls and boys basketball, gymnastics, and wrestling. March 1st through May 1st would be football, volleyball, cheerleading, boys and girls cross country, slow pitch softball, and girls soccer. April 26th through June 26th would be boys and girls track and field, boys and girls tennis, boys and girls golf, baseball, and fast pitch softball, as well as boys soccer. If you look at that, it does show that that last season would go well into June. Just know that if your son or daughter is a senior and they'd be graduating in 2021, they'll still be able to compete and finish their season. Obviously, you notice that these seasons they're shortened. They're about 30% shorter than obviously the normal seasons that we're accustomed to. And know that the WIAA is working as we speak on creating a culminating event. We don't know what that will look like, but once we have that information, we definitely will start working on schedules. And then as you see at the bottom of this slide is my contact information. And then also I listed the WIAA website where they are constantly kind of updating and they're staying current on what is happening statewide. On the next slide. This slide is a list of coaches and advisors. I had a Zoom meeting this morning with coaches and advisors, and they wanted to make sure that we put this up in front of all of you, in front of our community, to just let you know that if you have any questions or if you need to get a hold of a coach or an advisor, that here's their contact information with their email and their phone number. And specifically really for our incoming freshmen who are not familiar with any of our coaches and any of our advisors. So we encourage you to reach out to any one of these individuals and ask questions and get involved, especially when they are connecting with students virtually during these times. And just like everyone else has said, we are extremely eager to see your sons and daughters' faces. We have a beautiful new football field. We're just excited to see students and athletes back on the fields, back in the gymnasium, just interacting with each other and keep competing for the Titans.
Thank you, Brandon. At this time, and we will open it up for question and answers, and we're starting to get some come in. I would like everybody to know, though, we are in this together. We're one community. We've always been close to our community. A community and the schools are a reflection of each other. And I know that just from the emails that we've gotten and the calls, there is so much support out there and love for our children, our students, that we're going to get through this. And again, we are not going to let challenges that and things we don't control dictate us. We're going to make sure it's a better day, day after day for our students. So, and we'll appreciate all the more when we can get back together. The Central Valley School District, wants to open as soon as safely possible, and that's the message that's on our website, obviously. And we do have to follow and do follow Department of Health and Spokane Regional Health District guidelines. So as those go, we are prepared for changes, and let's get into the question and answers.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shireen. I'm the moderator tonight. We've seen a lot of great questions come through in the Q&A feature. If you're looking for that, it's probably at the bottom of your window. So feel free to shoot any questions our way. There's nothing off topic, and we'll hope to get to all questions, but we may not be able to get to everything. So just know we'll be taking note of everyone's questions and hoping to form some communications around those later. So also too, as a note, any question you ask will be anonymous. Other participants and folks on the call will not be able to see your questions. So we'll start with some questions around scheduling. When are student schedules going to be posted?
Anna, go ahead.
Tomorrow we'll be sending out information on accessing Blackboard and logging in there. From there you can see a schedule, but don't count on those schedules tomorrow because counselors are still changing schedules around to meet the needs of all of our students. And there's a little bit of hiccups in Blackboard, so don't trust those schedules when you see them tomorrow. The full PowerSchool schedules will be opened up on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. So next Tuesday at 3 o'clock, you'll be able to log into your PowerSchool and see your full schedule. It will show your first through sixth period, but first quarter, those first 9 weeks, you're just gonna be doing the content for first, second, and third period. It'll show everything, but after November 13th, you'll move into your fourth, fifth, and sixth period classes and work on those second quarter. So you'll still have 6 classes over 18 weeks, but you'll have 3 classes for 9 weeks, and then you'll have the other 3 classes for 9 weeks.
Great, thank you. How might students go about changing their schedule?
So students can email their counselor. All the counselors are available. They're all back to work, so email your counselor. Schedule changes is a little tricky right now. Schedules are really tight with 4 different options for kids and moving kids around. So a schedule request like, oh man, I signed up for pottery, but I really want to do photography might be possible, but there's a good chance it might not because we're doing so much shuffling around right now. But you can always email your counselor and see what is possible. A request like, oh, I forgot to sign up for AP World History. Can I get switched into that? That might be something they can do. So definitely just email your counselor and see what they can do.
Thank you. Question around 0 hour. How is that going to work, and is that available this year?
This year, there is not a 0 hour as we are in a quarter system. So we are going periods 1, 2, 3 for the first 9 weeks and periods 4, 5, 6 for the second 9 weeks. If things change, we will obviously look back at getting to our 0 hour programs, a few of them that we have had set up.
Great, thank you. And you may have touched on this earlier. How long are class periods, and what do those class periods look like?
So class periods are 90 minutes, and some students might think that, gosh, that's a long time compared to our normal 55-minute class periods. But our teachers are working really hard right now to find ways to break up those 90 minutes. So when you log in for your first time to Blackboard, you'll log in and there'll be a link to your first period Zoom, and you'll click on that period. And then your teacher might lecture for maybe 15, 20 minutes. They might break you out into groups because you can do that in Zoom. So they might do a little bit of group work. They might spend a little bit of time letting you work independently on the work that you have in Blackboard. And then they might do a little Q&A and go back and forth. So they're gonna bounce back and forth between a lot of different things depending on the class that you're in and what fits best.
Thank you. Could you talk a little bit about the at your pace structure for option 3 and 4?
Are you pointing at me? Oh. So right now, you know, option 3 and 4 kids. So if you're an option 4 student, you're on the same roster with an option 1 student because you say, If we're able to come back, I want to come back. So you're on the same pace with those kids. So what's going to look like is your teachers throughout the week. In some classes, the videos will already be posted that you can watch ahead of time and work maybe a little bit faster than everybody else. Other classes, the teachers are building as they're going. And so they might record the Zoom meeting from the class and then they'll post it so that then you can watch it whenever works conveniently for your schedule. Self-paced students, the teachers are really going to be working hard to help you stay on pace for a week. So students that are on teacher-paced, a teacher would say, this is the work you need to get done today to be able to finish this 9-week course. A self-paced student, a teacher is going to say, these are the items you need to finish this week to be able to finish this 9-week course. Do those assignments when it works for your schedule. Maybe on Monday you have to work, or you're helping a younger sibling with their assignments. So Tuesday, you're going to work hard and do double the work. That's kind of how the self-paced difference works. The teachers will post videos so that you can watch them, some ahead of time, some afterwards. But you can always reach out to your teacher and say, hey, can I hop on our class Zoom meeting today and ask you a couple questions? Just reach out to your teacher and see when's a good time to join the class if you have those questions, or use those advisory times to pop in and ask them a question. They're also always available by email, so always feel free to email your teachers and see if you have questions if you are a self-paced student, because they're there to help. They're there to help you stay on track to finish your class in 9 weeks.
Thank you. There's a question about the first day for option 4. What does that look like if it's self-paced?
Well, we're going to be, the first day really for all the students will be important. It'll be teachers connecting with their students, making the connection, just like they do when they're face-to-face. We want a connection on the first day. So it's important that students do, if they're able to log in on that piece and connect with their teachers. Also, any questions that the student may have, that'd be a great time to connect with the teacher. And again, like we do on every first day where the expectations are talked about, the syllabus is gone over. We're talking about some curriculum right off the bat, because we, like I said, we're in a quarter system and have a lot to do, but it's going to be centered around learning, and you know, content's important, but learning is the key as we go through the content. So it'll be the first day with connections, and our teachers are receiving, and in fact, we have a teachers meeting the day before school to talk about how they are going to approach that. And so it'll be unique to the teacher, but again, it's around connections with the student and student engagement and expectations.
Perfect, thank you. There's a question about AP classes. How will those courses look, and how might students go about taking AP courses?
Our advanced placement courses, students signed up for them in the spring, so they put them as a request in the spring. If it's a course you want to take now that you didn't put in the spring, you would want to contact your counselor to get put into that class. They are spread out throughout the semester. So you may have an AP class during your first, second, or third period class, which is first quarter, or you might have one during your fourth, fifth, or sixth period class, which is second quarter. So what that's kind of the main reason why we built in that time on Tuesday during advisories, that connection time, so that you can, if you're not in an AP class for second or third period, you can use that time to check in with your teacher and maybe get a little bit of pre-work. And then during the second 9 weeks, if you're not in that AP class, you can get a little bit of post-work to stay connected with the content. And so the amount of content would be the same that they are learning. We did learn yesterday that AP changed the deadline for signing up for the AP classes. So students that are in those fourth, fifth, or sixth period classes will have a later deadline for signing up and deciding that they want to take an AP class, which is really nice.
To add on to that, the College Board has been very flexible so far in working with our schools for the most part to serve our students and to be fair about that. We also have thought quite a bit on AP, that we do want to keep the students engaged, even if, say, they don't have a class the second quarter, 4, 5, 6, they will have the opportunity to stay engaged during that tutorial time with their teacher. Their teacher, the AP teacher, will give them assignments to stay engaged and to keep up and not lose what they've had in the first 9 weeks. So we're very conscious about keeping the students current with AP, just like they normally would be in a 6-period day schedule. And so we will focus on that. The teachers know this, and I want the students to feel that they will not be doing nothing for 9 weeks and then start AP again. So it's very important to us that students stay involved with their advanced placement classes. College Board is constantly adjusting, and I see that working again in the students' favor this year.
Great, thank you. There are some questions about class offerings. So we talked, I think, a little bit about changing classes, but how might folks see what class offerings are available?
On our school website, we have the course catalog. So the course catalog is listed there. We don't offer every class in the course catalog because in the spring, students request classes. And if the request number is too low, let's say it's 3 or 4 kids requested a class, we wouldn't run that class. But for the most part, our course offerings are in our course catalog on the school website.
Great, thank you. How would someone know what option they're enrolled in?
I'm assuming you're talking about options 1 through 4. The student and the parent actually do the enrolling in an option. So if you're unclear or don't remember the option, it would go to email or call us. We'll get to the grade level counselor and let you know which options, since the options are available to like 1 and 4 to back and forth. And so if you're unclear of that, what option you signed your student up for, please do contact the counselor and or email us. We'll get you that answer right away.
Thank you. Will SAT tests still be offered?
I believe in Washington, SATs are not being run right now. I do know they are being run in Idaho, and students can sign up to take an SAT. They do that through the College Board website, not through the school itself. The PSAT, which we run in our building, was originally scheduled for October, so we have canceled that and pushed it back to January in hopes that we will be back in the building in January. And so if we are back in the building by January, we'll have a PSAT in our building then.
Awesome. I think there's some questions coming through about activities. How might virtual PE work?
Well, we've talked quite a bit about that. So our instructors have set up a teaching station. So a lot like a personal trainer on a video, is only it'll be live. And so the encouragement will still be there. And so it'll be quite a bit like that. The exciting part is our teachers are very, very interested and have very high expectations on students taking care of themselves and improving their health. And so it will be live. It will be like having your personal trainer in your room, and the workouts will be done to the best of a student's ability. And there are many things we can do even without a full weight room for a while with their workouts to stay in shape. So obviously they'll be modified, but you'll be having your own personal trainer, and like I said, they're very well versed in doing this already. So I look forward to seeing the student progress as they do these classes.
And are these types of classes as well as other classes recorded, or is it up to the teacher discretion?
Well, right now it's teacher discretion, although we're encouraging our staff and they're very open to recording their lessons, just because a review is always good. So I would say a majority of the staff is very open to recording and posting lessons. And obviously there'll be deadlines for certain assessments and so on. But yes, I think the majority will be recorded, and students can request the teacher to do that and have that conversation as the class starts.
Could you talk a little bit about attendance and how that will look?
You're on, Rob.
So OSPI is mandating that there is daily attendance taken. It goes anywhere from whether students are entirely virtual or if they are doing daily virtual, or if they're self-paced. Attendance will be at the end taken on if they are showing academic improvement. And so it'll really depend on what type of option they're in, but there will be daily attendance taken for every student.
Great, thank you. There's some questions about individuals with counselors. How might they access their counselors as well as advisors? And is there an advisor list posted somewhere?
So yes, the students will be able to access their counselors via email. I believe the counselors are holding off their group sessions at this time. So group sessions will be put on hold for now until we figure out how to work that out. But through email and through phone messages, the students may access their counselors. What was the second part of that question, Shireen?
The second part is about advisors. Is there an advisor list? And if so, where would that be posted?
Yes, and we're going over that list as we speak. Good question. Most of the advisors should be intact. We have a freshman and sophomore and junior and senior class advisor. Right now, the freshman class advisor position is posted, so we will fill that soon. The sophomore and junior classes are filled. We can post the advisor positions as soon as the freshman one fills. So we will do that. We'll post the advisor positions on our website, and the advisor positions that are continuing, we will do that.
Perfect, thank you. There's a question about orientation. We may have covered this in the presentation, but is there going to be an orientation for freshmen?
Yes, there is, and we're looking forward to it. We just got word today. We have actually quite a special orientation plan for freshmen. We can't gather together physically, but we will have a orientation. We will make a packet up for our freshmen of Titan swag, and just a secret, yes, the Titan freshmen will get their signs. They look awesome. So I won't tell you what's in the packet because it'll be a surprise, but there'll be a lot of Titan swag for our freshmen. We'll do a drive-through, and it will be the week of the 14th, and I'll send out the date tomorrow that we'll do a drive-through for the freshmen to come get their freshman orientation packet, and we will be there to deliver them in person. We will keep our social distancing going and have our masks on and make sure the safety protocol is followed. But we will, a lot like the Chromebook handout, we will have some Titan swag, and I mean some good Titan swag. I wish I was a freshman this year for our freshmen. And so we will do that. We will have a freshman orientation. Our leadership class is planning an activity also for our freshmen, and there will be a video sent out to freshmen that goes through the building. And so when they come back to the building, they will at least seen the building, and we will talk a little bit about that. Our administrators have a word for our freshmen, and we want the freshmen to at least see University High School from a camera. So that'll be sent out tomorrow as a start piece of the orientation. it will be the week of the 14th, and I will send out a date tomorrow to be repetitive on that. But yes, we are planning a nice orientation for the freshmen and get them excited about being a Titan, and they'll have some swag to go along with it.
Jumping back to a topic we touched on earlier, attendance. How will attendance work for self-paced students?
So self-paced students will have to show academic progress throughout the week, and teachers will analyze, as long as they are completing activities and completing the outlined work, then they're going to be able to show that they're present. If they're not keeping up academic performance and they're self-paced, then it will be marked as absent. So the self-paced will all be entirely based on academics.
Great, thank you. Will self-paced students have a TAP teacher?
All students will have a TAP teacher, and so they just may not need to check in with them every day like the other students would, or every Monday like other students would, but they'll be able to, when they're in Blackboard, they'll be able to log onto their advisory class and see everything that was posted. So they'll be able to see the High School and Beyond, the Zello lesson, and be able to click on that to complete their High School and Beyond plan just like everyone else, and see maybe the links to the virtual assembly and things like that.
Thank you. So we'll get into some technical questions. There's quite a few questions about Blackboard. How can I get my Blackboard login? Where will that information be posted or shared with me?
Great question. We are sending Blackboard information for parents and students out tomorrow after 1 o'clock. The schools wanted to be consistent with the send out time. So tomorrow afternoon after 1 o'clock, you will receive via Blackboard some Blackboard information. And if there are any questions on that, you'll be able to contact us, and we'll answer as many of those as we can. But it will be very detailed and a good guide for the parents that will be sent out tomorrow.
Will teachers walk students through how to use Blackboard, or will there just be an informational guide about that?
Well, it'll be a team effort. Obviously, I think that parents are going to want to know a little bit about that platform, but it will be both. You'll walk each other through probably together and follow the directions given, and they're very detailed and very good. So it's our teachers that have taught in that before find it fairly easy to navigate, and we see no problem there. But it'll be a team effort. The student will probably be able to do that on their own, but it would be good for the parents to see it, also to ensure the login consistency.
There's some questions about access for Zoom. Is that going to be sent out in a similar way, or could you just talk a little bit more about Zoom?
Quinn, you're on.
Yeah, so in addition to the Blackboard information that'll be sent out at 1 o'clock tomorrow, along with it will come very, very clear instructions on exactly how to log on to Zoom and some of the key features. In addition to what Mr. Franson said in regards to Blackboard, once students get logged on and are able to get on to Zoom for the first time, their teachers are going to be able to guide them through a lot of the features that take place both in Blackboard and in Zoom. But that information in regards to those initial steps to get on with Zoom will be sent out with the Blackboard information tomorrow after 1 p.m.
Great, thank you. There's a question about PowerSchool. Is there a specific login for that and login information for that that can be accessed somewhere?
Are you pointing at me? Okay. On our district website, there is a PowerSchool icon, and if you click on that icon, it will direct you to exact step-by-step instructions on how to log in to PowerSchool for the first time for your students. You do need to log into it on a computer or a Chromebook for the first time. Then you can access PowerSchool on your phone. So it gives the code for the district on that page, and it walks you through the directions on how to add your students and things like that.
You mentioned Chromebooks. How might students go about getting Chromebooks?
Okay, so we've had numerous students picking up Chromebooks from, I think, tomorrow on out. Do email us, letting us know your student needs a Chromebook. We will set up a time to drive through, and we will get a Chromebook ready for the student. Each student that needs one that's in our district will receive that. And so it's just a matter of contacting us saying, my student needs a Chromebook, and we will set up a time for you UI specific students now as we are wrapping up the total district. We were a hub for Chromebooks for the district over the last few weeks, and now we'll be student specific to University High School. So just contact us, we'll make it happen.
This next topic about internet, students are obviously going to need internet to be able to access their online classes. Who might they contact if they have connectivity issues, whether it's in the moment before a class or just overall they're having issues with connectivity?
When you want to tackle that one, he's our techie.
Yeah, so you know, obviously it becomes a little bit difficult if a student and family are at home and in the moment have technical issues with internet. I can just tell you that our teachers are going to be extremely flexible if somebody were to miss the start of a bit of instruction or not get some of the content. We're going to work with families to make sure that we meet the needs of the student where they're at, and that means if they're having technical issues, we will make sure we accommodate that. In addition, I know that several of the carriers around the area are helping out students as much as possible. I'm not going to name any here, but I just know that if you contact several of those carriers that have internet access, they're really doing everything they can to help out students and education right now, knowing that that's the vehicle that we're using. But our teachers are going to be extremely accommodating to students and flexible, and just know that if you miss a portion of instruction because of internet, we're going to make sure that we take care of you. So.
Great, thank you. There's some questions about textbooks. Will students be expected to obtain textbooks? Will there be printed packets or materials? Where might those live?
We are also going to send out another few days of textbook pickup if needed. So we will send that out with our actually our 9th grade orientation date we will have tomorrow, and we will also send textbook, and I have to now put in a plug for yearbook. We had 4 days and nights of yearbook pickup, and we would like our students who ordered yearbook last year to come pick those up too. So we'll have a multi-pickup few days coming up, and probably different locations for that on our campus to drive through and drive by. But yes, we will, all the materials students need, we will have some pickup days and times. We will send that out probably tomorrow.
Thank you. There's a few questions around some special programs. How will SVT classes or courses work? Will they be built into the schedules?
So SVT, since they are in our school district, they've done some rearranging also. So SVT courses will be offered first and fourth period, which means both quarters. If you were in an SVT class, it would be how you start your day is at SVT. And then you would now have 4 classes at UHI instead of 3, like you maybe had in the past or were expecting to have. So you'd go to SVT in the morning. We've tried to build in enough time in the schedule for you then to get to your, or not get to UHI. What am I thinking? For you to then log on to your UHI class and join your UHI students on those classes. Second quarter, you would just continue that same class that you were in at SVT, but now you're in 2 different classes at UHI, your 5th and 6th period.
How might students find out more about SVT if they need help about their classes or their teachers?
Go ahead, Hannah.
There's two different ways you could do that. You could check out the SVT website and contact them directly through our district. You can choose Spokane Valley Tech as one of your schools and find out information there. You can also just contact your school counselor at U High, and they can direct you to either, if they don't know the answer, they can direct you to somebody who has the answer for the question that you have.
Thank you. Next question, how will Running Start work?
Running Start is dependent on the college that you have chosen to take Running Start through. So Spokane Falls, Spokane Community College, and Eastern all might have a little bit different policies, and hopefully they've already communicated that out to you. If not, definitely contact your Running Start counselor, and they'll fill you in on more information. If you signed up for a U High class, you get your schedule and when your class is and what your class is on Tuesday when PowerSchool opens at 3 o'clock.
Great, thank you. There's some questions about ninth grade orientation. If someone is new, can they attend ninth grade orientation, even if they aren't a ninth grader?
If someone is new, we will, well, we'll have the ninth grade orientation left for the ninth graders, but any students new to University High School, we will also send a virtual tour. So we can send that link for the new student new to University High School. When we are able to see you face-to-face safely, we will send you that link. So email any one of the administration and we will get you the orientation to the building. We'll also send you the course catalog if you don't have that. If you've signed up for classes and you wish to speak to one of us, that would be great. And a phone call. You can talk to somebody in person or an email and we'll answer any questions. But yes, we will welcome new students, just like our ninth graders, but in a different way.
Great, thank you. There's a question about Picture Day. Will Picture Day be happening, and if so, how?
Well, that one came up today in our ad team meeting. How are we going to do this? We're exploring some options. We usually don't have Picture Day, thank goodness, till the middle of September, and then we have a makeup day at the end of September. We're going to explore with our vendors pictures for the students in a similar way, if we can make this happen. In a similar way we did graduation. It may be a student walkthrough, get a picture from our vendor, and then walk out one at a time. If we are able to do that, we will check and see if we are. If we are, that could be an option with the pictures. Another one is students, especially seniors, usually send us their senior picture anyway, and we will send out deadlines for the yearbook, because we will have a yearbook. And the students would send their senior pictures into our yearbook instructor to get into there, and we'll again send out deadlines for that. Another option might be if we are unable to get a student in one at a time through the building, get their picture taken on a certain day, would be take their own picture and send that to us, and we will make sure it gets into the yearbook and a student informational profile, so all students have pictures in. So we will explore different options on that. We are not sure exactly which one we'll do, but we will definitely figure out how we're going to get student pictures. Great question.
Thank you. We're nearing the end of our Q&A time. We're set to end at about 7 p.m. So I just have maybe one or two questions. This one about senior swag or special events. What can seniors expect this year?
Well, we're going to take care of our seniors, and because it's another unique year for our seniors, we're right now working with some vendors, and Brandon, I'll have you help me out on this, but we're working with some vendors to make some senior swag available, some unique senior swag this year, unique to our school and with a unique brand on that. So seniors will have access to that. We'll work through our leadership team to make that happen. And there'll be more information coming out with swag. It'll actually be for the whole school, including seniors, but because we want all our school to be a piece of that. We will also work with our booster club to take care of the needs with University Titan swag. It's always been a big deal and very important. So we'll look for more information on that.
Great, thank you. Well, I think that about wraps it for our Q&A session. I know we have some folks with lingering or open questions, so we will be taking note of those and communicating with you further about those questions. Thanks to everyone for submitting, and I'll turn it over to you, Principal Branson.
Thank you, Shireen. Great job tonight. Again, we appreciate everybody that has joined us, and if we didn't get to your question tonight, we have a list of those, so we will do our best to do that, and we'll put up the answers to the Q&A that we can answer on our website also. So that'll be the plan. I'd like to end the evening with saying again, thank you for your participation. We are going to provide the best learning environment for students virtually first, and the students that can be in the building. And then when we transition to in building, it'll be fantastic. And I think it makes us all appreciate the more of the things we do and how we work together as a community, because we have to be together on this. And we're excited about this year. Again, it's like a first year job. Everything has changed. But you know what? We're resilient, and we'll get through this and we'll work it out together. So again, we appreciate the community input. We will have community forums. We will still do forums with parents this year. That's our plan. And so I want to tell you that we're going to have an optimistic view on this year. And if we do and you do, our students will, and that'll be contagious and pass on through. The fantastic school district, we're strong together, and get ready for some great things to come. Again, we're not going to let circumstance get us down in any way. We're moving forward, and we'll move up. And as our great innovators on our staff will do, we'll come up with new and great things to get through these times. Appreciate everyone. See you soon.